You're
listening to the RFBL Report with your hosts, Bear and Pat Downsky.
I only realised when I was up in Wolverhampton, the New Forest owner is an absolute cuck.
Truly, the rich get richer.
Juice, because I only drink juice.
We got some typical Peking bullshit.
Here comes 5th place New Forest.
He's cagey, he gets on base, he's a consummate pro.
Warning, things are about to get weird.
Greetings, salutations. Welcome back to another one of the RFBL reports. I am Pat Downsky. Joining me, as always, the man from across the pond, an international man of mystery himself. But he's not making some intriguing trades. They're making rules about him, the one, the only.
I have more rules than you have rings.
I'm running out of space on one hand for them. So, I mean, that's a lot of rules.
Exactly. I need to keep my hands ring free. I just need to keep creating rules for the fun of it, innit?
Yeah, I guess keeping them ring free is necessary at the workplace, right? You're a rail man.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have metal with electricity and shit like that.
Yeah, generally not. But it's been an off season. It's been a season in the RFBL. It was an interesting playoff last year. Montreal going on that miracle run, but pulling up just short. Beijing winning in spite of everything being like every guy they threw out there immediately had their arm fall off or their legs break. It was like a weird Tanya Harding zone.
It was like,
still couldn't get through.
It was like one of those happy endings into a very sad state of affairs.
A happy ending into a sad state of affairs. That could describe so many facets of life. But yeah. We can move right along with that. The season has already begun. I was sick, so we couldn't you could have done it without me, I guess. Right? But
yeah, I guess. But who wants to listen to my opinions? Fair enough. Who wants to listen to some British guys talk about half an hour about each team?
Yeah. Just seems so dreadfully colonial.
You see this team? They're fucking shite, aren't they? These fucking Bears, fucking useless.
The Bears, just the embarrass. I was trying to make a play there, and I beefed it. I did not stick the landing.
Oh, no.
But it's all right. It's all right. Got plenty of time to punt away. Season's already begun. We're 27 games in, 28 games approximately there. But some trends, I guess, early trends coming out. Zurich apparently still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, the Kervalas, maybe not as much.
Sort of expected.
Although I will say the Bears did have a big off-season addition. Did. Still there as of recording.
Yeah, still there as of 3 a.m. on Saturday, 11th of March.
Yeah, but they did add the reigning MVP, Looney Tunes Hashimoto, who had a huge season last year in Springfield. 39 bombs. He actually stayed healthy for almost a full schedule. 6.7 WAR. He had himself a year, and he is in New Forest.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why he came here, but, he came here.
I think there were 72 million reasons he came there.
Yeah, true.
I'm, of course, referring to the years of guaranteed salary. That just whatever happens will probably still stay in New Forest.
Potentially.
His salary will, is what. But yeah, there was some drama earlier, and we've got some. It's a year of turnover as well, it would seem, as we've got some teams that have been kind of perennial strong teams where the gap has narrowed a little bit. We've got some of the historic also rans that are making a play. It's interesting to see Peking and Castlegar towards the bottom of their respective divisions. It's interesting to see Montreal just really establishing dominance. What are you thinking, Bear? How would we like to run through this, so the off season and whatnot? Do we want to pay everybody a little bit of a visit? Do we want to just say where we think things are going to end up and move on to the next thing? What do you want to do?
Let's predict each of the divisions. Fuck it.
All right. Where are we starting? Top left? Are we starting with where the championship went? Bottom right?
Let's start with bottom right. Championship teams always
bottom
first.
Right. All right. Well, bottom right. That's the Asian division in the Victory League. The division includes Pyongyang, Beijing, Shanghai, Peking. Does not look as good as it has in years past. Beijing is trying to retool a little bit. Peking is going through their own kind of retool rebuild. Shanghai is doing their thing, man. And Pyongyang is dominant. Just absolutely dominant. Israel Cruz having a really hot start to the year. He's got 10 dingers. They are running a 6-man rotation. They added, or they retained anyways, I should say, Fernando Crapponi. He's there. He's playing. He's looking all right. I feel like Ray Garby was there last year, but he's on pace for another strong one so far. They have been making some moves. They signed one of the big free agents, Eddie Evans, Bow Wow. He's there for 7 seasons. Untested man, but he's got him playing out of the bullpen, which is a bold strategy.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Do you think it's going to work out?
I think it will, because the division is bad overall, and he scores a zillion runs. So 56 home runs so far this year through 27 games. Last year's CL home run leader has, half that number of home runs. So there's something to be said for the long ball, and I think Pyongyang probably still going to be the class of the division this season.
Yeah.
Would you disagree?
It's hard to disagree. Let's be honest. They've only lost 4 games already, like this season so far, and it's very unlikely that they will struggle.
Yep. They also had Carlos Hernandez had a huge season last year for them. So like they have veritably a decorated player at every position. Mm-hmm. Like you go up and down the lineup and it's all-star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, all-star, like Rookie of the Year. Like there's just an embarrassment of riches. If the pitching holds up, I think this is a scary team.
Yeah. Like they have by far one of the best infields in history. A bullpen, a very strong bullpen.
It is hard to disagree with that. I think this is one of the best hitting infields that we've seen.
Yeah, Carlos Hernandez, Ruben Gomez, Theo Fisher, and Neil Patel. Like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's kind of bananas, isn't it?
I don't know like any other infield like anything like that.
Just an absolute embarrassment of riches. But it should be interesting to see if they can maintain this pressure that they've created. It's interesting to see them looking to spend assets on more bats. I guess they're just going to force their way through. But we will move on to another team. I'm your favorite and mine, the Beijing Bernedoodles, last year's champions.
I never knew the Bernedoodles were my favorite.
They're everybody's favorite. This year, they're already missing Steve Leppard from an injury he sustained, I want to say, in the playoffs. Yeah, that first game of the World Series.
Yep.
That's a big blow. That's $22 million that they have committed to that player for another 5 years. That's a player opt-out. And if he's washed, he's not opting out. That's how that goes. But the Bernedoodles, looks like they added a new center fielder, Callie Rudberg. Seems all rightish. I think he's probably better suited to a corner, but then the bat doesn't necessarily play there. That was a free agent signing, I do believe. They parted ways with longtime third baseman Hussein, I want to say. But they also are Sung Ho Lee is a very strong first baseman. He's looking very good once again this year. I think he shifted him from the outfield. Juan Velez is slowing up a little bit, having a rough start to the year, but there's no reason he can't contribute. Hussein Chen Cheng is having another strong season. And I think this team still has some pieces. I think they also have the best hitting catcher that we've seen in many a moon in Abegar Kaweli.
Yeah.
It's just a lock for Silver Slugger every single year. But I think this team, as it is currently comprised, is looking to change some things up, but they are struggling to prevent runs. And I see a lot of guys here that I'm not enthused about. Like, I'm not super enthused about Robin Bell at shortstop. He's fine.
It's a very good pitching team, but the bats are a bit lacking.
Well, I do like some of them, right? Like, there's a heart of an order argument there. 3, 4, 5, 6 looks really good. I'm a little shocked that Anders Giselle is a 160 weighted runs created plus guy right now. That's an interesting look.
I mean, it's Beijing. It's a luck-based organization.
I just, it's just interesting to see how many bombs he's hit and how much he is getting on base. He's getting on base at a 409 clip with a 50 contact, 40 eye combo. So that's
less said the better.
That's pretty good. Moving along to another team that might have some big hopes this year. Shanghai, getting Shanghai'd a bit early on here, not producing what they were perhaps hoping. They didn't want to pay to acquire a catcher in trade, so they signed one and immediately had him die. So that's a bit of a problem, as is the fact that Emmanuel Partita still has 3 years of his contract if he wants it, and he's fading a little bit at age 29. The defense was never his calling card, but he is now in the midst of his second straight down season. That could be a problem. They did sign Mustache Zitong Gang. I am a member of the Gang, I will say. This is a player I was looking for in the offseason. I think he's got some upside. It's a big addition for Shanghai, I would say. $9.5 million, 3 years guaranteed. What do you think, Bear?
What's your thoughts on spending $30 million on catches?
Probably not the most ideal way to spend that money.
Oof! It sounds like something I would do.
Sorry, 30 million on catchers.
Yeah. It's 18.8 million on Partida and 12 million on Santa Marta.
I thought you said 13 million, and I was like, that's a lot. But if you're getting good production, that's probably worth it. And that was actually, in fact, not what you were saying. You said 30.
Yeah, 3-0.
Woof, that's a bit of Chad. That's a bit of money. I'd also note that this is a team that has traditionally gone very hard on the international free agents.
Yeah.
And they will go where that carries them. They did sign Carlos Fa, and they're paying him a lot. Never mind. I was going to say they got a deal because
21.6.
I think it's probably a deal in term.
Yeah,
and he's struggling to start, but there's no reason he shouldn't bounce back. He's still looking very vital for his age of 35. This is a team that I think is a tweener.
Yeah,
they're probably better than they've shown so far, but
I don't think they're great. I don't think they're a playoff team though.
I don't think so either. I think as it's currently construed, Beijing is a better contender for a wild card, and I think Pyongyang has the division locked up. This team does have some big contracts. You look at Christian Collado playing. He's come off his former contract, but that was a guy that they were paying a lot of money to last year. He's come back on a sweetheart discount deal.
32.4 to 4.8.
Yeah, that's a big shift. That's where he got the money for those other guys. Min-Soo Kim was another international free agent. He's still making $24 million. He had a good year last year, and he had a really great year the year before. Wheels have not. I'm not going to say the wheels have fallen off the cart, but they look to be loose. Might need to tighten those lug nuts before we go too much further.
Grab a spanner, start tightening them.
He also got Jarno van Vindegaden 5 seasons ago as an independent league free agent, but this is a guy that has been very good for him as well and will continue to do so, I think. He's already having another strong season. That's the guy that's probably the straw that stirs the offense here. I think Henrik Andren is a guy that think he signed. Yeah, this is another international free agent. He signed him for age 33 to 37 at 16 million a year. This is just, again, he's not playing bad. You can't say this guy's playing bad.
He's doing all right.
But I mean, like, oh, that's this guy. Okay, I remember this guy. This guy was supposed to be a second baseman, and he's converted him into an elite glove first baseman. I get it now.
Glove cucking.
Well, he also has a 60 contact, 60 home run power. I remember this player now. And then, of course, Zitong Gang. That's another international free agent that he signed.
It's an international free agency.
I mean, if you're going to bat this guy seventh and just accept that he's going to smash the ball really hard and strike out 200 times, I'm fine with that. I wish that I had bid a little bit higher. Yeah. But we'll cover my team when we get to it. Peking Ducks.
Wow.
Oh, I've been waiting for this headline for a while. Ducks cooked?
Question mark?
I think maybe Ducks cooked !
How do you like your duck cooked?
I like it with orange.
Oh.
Or as confit scattered across a luxurious poutine.
Very fancy.
This is a team that I think that this is a deliberate teardown. I think how drastic it is was probably undeliberate, but they have gone from having one of the worst farm systems to having some very huge pieces within their organization. They have some upside moving forward.
Yeah.
I will note, maybe mistakes were made. We'll see. Sonoda has not been amazing since joining this team. He's having a good year so far, so maybe mistakes weren't made. But $32 million is a lot for a guy that has a career 1.5 WAR and like 60 weighted runs created plus. The other, I guess, gem of the collection here is Zuto 2. And I think we could all agree if we said he got too much money. I'm so sorry. I can't keep getting away with it. But he's getting paid $555 million over 10 years. It's actually a weird, like, not quite front-loaded, but front-loaded deal where next year his salary goes up to $75 million. He is a 22-year-old absolute monster in the field, steals bases, gets on base, hits with power, hits for average, doesn't strike out a ton. Will strike out, but not a ton. He's dead.
8 months.
8-month injury. He played 19 games and then... So that's a thing. I will say there's still some good players here. Bobby Bonilla, always a very quality slugger. He's having a great year so far as well. I think that's all. That's everything nice I'm going to say, though.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty.
Look at this Jorge Aguinaga contract. Was signed before the season and then just immediately drove off a cliff. Lost 5 miles per hour off his pitches. Went from a 75 to a 45 stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's not ideal. He's using Pofu Ji as his third starter.
He lost 4 miles an hour from his velocity over the off season.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get it. I had a bunch of guys that happened to. Kawasaki, that Beijing claimed for me.
Yeah.
He has been such a good, like, I don't know. It's such a weird cliche to be like, oh, he's been a good soldier. But, like, he's been an org guy. He's been one of my org guys, which is super weird. But he came over and just been, like, a very strong number 4 starter for 4 or 5 seasons. And then in the offseason just died. Lost all his velocity. Lost his movement, lost his control. But good luck in Beijing, friend. Well, it does happen. It sometimes happens suddenly with even the best of arms. So it's unfortunate to see a reliever of the year guy as recently as 2 seasons ago just completely melt for Peking. But, I mean, sometimes controlled destruction.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. You don't expect it.
Let's move to Euro. You want to go up from there?
We can go left and go to the.
You want to do you want to go VLCL? Okay, let's do that. CL division. Let's go to Montreal, the team that was the CL champion somehow last year.
Somehow,
I would say somehow. Well, okay, hold on.
They have by far the best player in the league.
Who's that?
Dwayne Beefsteak Gifford.
The guy with 60 weighted runs created plus. Indeed.
Hey, no.
Best player in the league.
I don't want to hear Gifford Flame. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, this is a very good team. This is a very good team. They added to their very good team. I would say that Jose Ayala going absolutely nuclear in the postseason probably played more of a role than this team being the best team. But like a dude he has a 261 weighted runs created with 11 dingers in 18 games. You can't stop him. You can't stop him. He's probably the best third baseman right now.
Yeah. He has competition from Theo Fisher from Pyongyang, but it's close.
That's fair. I'm thinking of the CL.
Oh yeah, CL definitely.
So they added Sergio Gonzalez, who's having an astounding start to his season. That's a really nice piece to have as well. I would probably prefer he play corner outfield, but like whatever. He's a good guy. You mentioned Gifford. Gifford steals a lot of bases. So that's another thing that this team kind of does, is if Gifford can keep his on base up high enough, then they're generating a lot of extra runs. He's only 26 years old and has 300 steals in the league. So I just mean like you have him number one. Marco Sievenin loves to take a walk. He has a 455 OBP so far. He's been 390s for 3 seasons in a row prior to that. Like, this is a good player. Having those two setting the table for RBI threats, Antonio Romero, Jose Ayala, Sergio Gonzalez. Like, this is a well-constructed lineup with a really strong team. And then they keep adding pitchers. They just acquired Ramon Solano from Kitchener. I don't think they paid very much. Like, at the end of the day, for a guy that slots in the top half of the rotation, like, I don't think they paid a ton for what that goes for. I know that it was a limited market on the player, so getting this player for a late first, an IFA slot, which is like very inconsistent, and a kind of mid prospect, that seems like a coup. That seems like a really nice ad, and they've been adding arms every season. Like, you look, Sakio Hirata is another guy that they acquired in trade. He was very strong for a couple of years for as an innings eater. Francisco Gamez, another dude they got in a trade with Peking. He's having a strong start to the year. Yamano was a free agent signing. He was unreal last year as a 3-WAR guy making $1 million. So like this is definitely a team that has good pitching, really well. Like, I think Pyongyang has a better lineup. Objectively, like just for how many players here can hit, I think Pyongyang probably beats them out. I think if you look at how this lineup is constructed, this lineup is devastating. Like, it can get you with speed, they can get you with walks, they can get you with home runs, they can get you with hitting the ball in the gaps. They hit the ball for average, they hit it with power. It's a very, very well constructed lineup.
It's a very smartly built team, rather than just throwing superstars at the wall and hoping they stick.
Yep. Anyways, is that enough? Have I blown that team enough?
Have you got to the good part yet? Or we done that?
Almost there. I think if we follow up, what like you want to do Motor City next?
Yeah, let's go Motor City. Decent team, good team.
They're all right. I think I'm very happy for them winning the Akelbakov sweepstakes. I'm happier for them that he perked back up, because I was getting some very sketchy reads on this player, so I backed out.
He has lost some speed.
Yeah, I just mean like this team. I think what I dislike about it is that they're second right now in runs scored, and I have substantive doubts if that's going to hold.
It's a very average team.
I think part of it is that they are just they're raked over the coals with injuries right now. Like Timo Boom and Ian Weiser. Ian Weiser is a very good center fielder. He's got 2 All-Stars, a Silver Slugger, a Rookie of the Year. Like, he's really good in the field with the bat. He's a key player here. He's been injured off and on. I think he's actually, he's fragile now. But like, he's got a day-to-day. Timo Boom has an indefinite day-to-day. Tom Caulfield out again. He's really started to run into some health issues. He's wrecked now. That's a problem. Especially, like, they've got him on a pretty good value contract, like 19.5 for a guy that can hit. Like, if he's healthy, he's a 150 weighted runs created guy. Yeah. That could be really good. He's only 28 years old, but they got to keep him in the lineup. But he's out again. It's not forever, but it's 5 days. Those add up. Mo Morgan's out 3 weeks. Like, that's a starting outfielder. Their ace, he's out another 7 weeks with a ruptured finger tendon. Like, it's not going great. It's not going great on the injury front, and that could be demoralizing. I will say Daniel Carvalho? I think that's probably how you'd say that. I think the J's probably silent. Puerto Rican.
It's either silent or it's a H. Right?
A H.
H.
Carvalho.
Oh, wait, let's way we can do this.
Okay, you look that up. I'll ramble about the lineup. That's buying you time. I really like Frank Perez. I really like Frank Perez on this team. He's a third. He's playing DH. I think he's also a third baseman sometimes, but I think that's a good young player. He's only 25. He's a switch hitter. Last year was his first full season. He had 24 bombs and was a pretty solid rookie season that he can build off of. I think that's a reasonable player. Alex Trevino.
Oh,
good for him. Finding a home last year, making an all-star team, 2.5 WAR. He got a bit of a race. He's got 4 more years at $10 million to be a glove first second baseman, but like, he's a good player. He's only 27 years old right now. I still think that the outfield is probably soft after Weiser. Like, Tsuchimura is an okay outfielder, having a very strong start to the season, but he's an interesting guy that doesn't hit all that much. He kind of looks like he's a good hitting catcher. I'd say Ji-hyun Park is...
Oh, no.
Okay. He's a pitcher who's playing left field.
Oh. Iron Man, that's durable. Ironic.
God bless Motor City.
I have identified the pronunciation.
Okay.
It is Carbajal.
Okay. Carbajal. Yeah, okay. That sounds good. I gotta say, being living in Canada, I have much more experience with the French pronunciation of name per se than a Latin Spanish. So yeah, there we go. So Motor City, if we were doing the other division, we said Asian, Pyongyang, Beijing, Shanghai, Peking, probably. This division, we have 2 more teams to do.
Yeah, Kitchener and the Chicago Sleuths.
I don't want to upset friend Agile. I don't think we should talk about Chicago.
We need to talk about Chicago, but we can't talk about it badly.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that it's really positive. There's enough negativity in this world without us contributing to it. Yeah. Anyways, Kitchener just traded, I say that now, Kitchener just traded 2 of their best pitchers. I don't think they got a lot for Jose Vega either. A third and a second from Sunnyvale. The second is like 2 years out.
Yeah. But
I guess if you were worried about retaining the player, I can see it. He's projected for 2, maybe 3 WAR. I think there's value there. Maybe it's just that he's fragile and I'm a sucker for 2, maybe 3 WAR players.
Yeah.
I just like the stuff, and I think he's a guy where if that's your 4th or 5th best starter, you can slide him into the pen for an absolute weapon in the playoffs. And I think that was a really savvy ad for Nick and the Sunnyvale Master Batters. But like, now we're looking at like the Zabby's pitching depth is going to be tested. I'm not saying they're bad. Henrik Nyland, who he likes to flex, he's having a really strong start to the year. He's looking like probably one of the better pitchers that are going to be here for a while. Jesus Lafarga has been one of those guys that's a 2, maybe 3 WAR guy. Started slow last year. I guess I can't count him out. I thought he was going to get exploded leaving Shanghai, because Shanghai plays in a Fenway Park mock-up, right?
Yeah.
So you have that big, tall wall in left field, which is exactly where the power alley for a lot of right-handed hitters would be, as a soft tossing lefty. It's just one of those things that if you're a guy with low movement and you're left-handed, that wall's going to stop some home runs from happening, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought going to a kind of dinger-friendly park in Kitchener was going to be murder on a guy with okay but not amazing movement, and it barely budged. His home run rate barely moved. So I mean, like, that's been a guy that's been pretty good for a while. I don't know any of these guys in his bullpen, and I'm not going to worry about it. I think Jude Morrison has been good for a while. It's been 4 straight years of good play. I don't think he's washed at age 30. So, like, that's a player he can count on. Kurisu, who got suspended, maybe for steroids at age 38?
Yeah, probably.
He's at 110 weighted runs created plus. He's got a 400 OBP right now. The ageless.
He's still got his contract for a few more years.
It's a Hall of Famer. I like this. I like this Josh Simmons contract. It's 7 years. 2 of them are team options, but like that takes him from 27 to 33 at $15 million a year. That's really good for a captain. It's really good for a dude that's popular with the fans. He's a first overall pick. He gets lots of triples. He steals bases. He gets on base. Last year wasn't amazing, but the Zabbies bought the dip, and he has as much WAR this year as he did last year. And I think that's probably going to look like a good contract over time. Or he'll die and it won't matter.
Hey, he's a normal injury proneness. Thank you. He's going to be a good person.
Look at that injury history.
Yeah, I've seen worse. Fuck me.
I've seen worse too. But like, he's 26. He's in his 4th season.
But the thing
that's a lot of injuries.
I would argue he doesn't injure the same part of the body each time. He seems to have go for a rotation, you know?
A rotation of injuries. Exceptional.
Right arm, right knee, left foot, right leg, left hand, head, left leg, head, upper body, right arm, right leg, head, left foot, upper body, right leg, left foot.
You know, that's just going to be our podcast intro moving forward, hey?
It's almost like a theme song of body parts he's injured.
I like that you were punctuating that with head. Like that was interesting. That was good. It sounded rhythmic. I was like, is this guy freestyling? No, he's listing injuries. I think Thomas Erstweiler is one of the better shortstops in the league, which is probably a contentious statement to make with a guy that's had 49 weighted runs created plus last year and was essentially neutral. But right now he's playing like one of the better shortstops. He's good defensively. I think he's career-wise been pretty good defensively. And he's hitting a bit this year. I guess maybe the bat could tail off, but I like that guy as just an everyday player for the Zabbies. He's not costing them anything. He's helping the pitching out.
Zabbies well known for shortstops that are very glove cocky. I can't remember what the guy beforehand was, but it's always 10 plus 10 zone rating every year.
Oh yeah, VMAL. Yeah. So I guess I'm just looking at this team, and they traded 2 of their best arms. The pitching staff underwhelms me. The bullpen I don't want to talk about because I'm trying to be positive. The lineup looks pretty weak. Because I'd say outside of Jude Morrison, Kurisu, Simmons, and Kurisu is in the process of washing up a little bit here. In the midst of those 3, you basically I don't think Abdul Muazzez bin Hamid. I don't think that guy's an amazing hitter. He's fine. I'm not going to criticize him as he's bad per se. And Thomas Erstweiler are probably your next best bats. That's not a good place to be in. You've got a bunch of guys that look below average. So I think the Zabbies are in for a long year. Could the Sloths pass them? Lead into the next team.
Sloths?
Sloths? Only positive, though. Only positive.
Only positivity. I mean...
So I'm not going to talk about the guys that are injured, one of whom is 23, and being out long-term with a shoulder injury could be a bad sign. I'm not going to talk about that.
No.
I will say they brought back Brian Benbow. He was pretty good here. Got traded to Minneapolis.
I would like to say I think the Sloths are better than Kitchener.
I think so too. Honestly, I think that there's depth issues.
There is depth issues. Their system looks good.
I think it's funny to me. Oh, they signed Scott Coster, longtime Monkeys legend. Scott Coster. Going to be playing third base. I think it's interesting. They've got a good-looking young catcher, this Leroy guy, Christophe Leroy.
Yep.
That's fun. Orlando Flores can hit. Jian Chen looks amazing. Ryan Frost is still a player.
Even at age 35. I thought that guy was like retired by now, but yeah. Man's going to play till he's 38.
Yeah, that's. But the Sloths look all right. They've got a little bit more of a solid heart of the order. I don't love the center field shortstop, but those have long time been issues here. They're probably third in the division. So if I'm looking at this, maybe the Sloths could be second. Like this, it'll probably depend on health between them and the Motor City. But I think Montreal is clearly number one with a bullet, and Kitchener is probably last.
Yeah, I think Montreal, Motor City, Sloths, Zabbies.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Eurodivision. Zurich, what do they do?
Zurich.
They had Charles Van Twillert lose a bunch of control. Yep. He's lost 15 control in the last year.
I remember seeing this earlier.
It's okay though. They have Mike Willie. He can help them out. Right?
Yeah.
And Dean the Warden. And they got Deshays.
Avenger and the Warden.
And Zombie. They have a very nickname intense rotation.
And they got Stretch.
Indeed.
It's almost like Craig has assembled like a Fantastic Four and some Dutch scientist.
Yeah. It's sad about Van Twillert. Like he's already looking washed. Maybe he can come back in the bullpen. Like if I'm looking at this player, he's probably like, you don't need control in the bullpen, do you?
Nah, you just stick him as a closer and it'll be fine.
Yeah, just a middle reliever. There you go. I don't think this team looks as strong as they did the last few years.
Yes, they're starting to wilt away. I
think they're still clearly the best team in this division, right?
Oh yeah, they're the best team in the division and probably top 3 teams in this side of the conference.
Jesus Hurtado in center field feels like a bit of a misstep, an unforced error, eh?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even good with the glove last year. He's getting $30 million for another 3 seasons.
Yeah, slightly questionable, and there's no get out clause either.
Indeed. And they lost Santa Marta at catcher, so now they've got 2 guys that look fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real good catch. There's like a couple of very good catches, and then everybody else is just bang average or shit.
I will say that it probably helps them a lot that their magic man is still going. Like Natsume Oda. He's having another incredible season. He's pacing for almost 20 WAR right now. I say he does it. I don't actually think he's going to do it, but I'm just looking at between Havlicek and Oda. They are both pacing for a combined 25 WAR. They're both hitting 415 or higher. They combine for 22 home runs between them. So if you're wondering, like, why is Zurich at the top of a lot of offensive categories?
There's your reason.
There's your reason. Tim Easterly's good too. Cortez Campos is good. Like he's good. He's turned into a really reasonable first base option here. That's what I was looking for in Archuleta when I drafted him. Henrik Hansen having the start of what looks like a breakout season. So like there are very good players here. This is a very good team. They have probably the best pitcher in the VL and the best hitter in the VL. So I mean,
yeah,
like Contreras is coming off another. He's had 2 straight Hollands and 3 out of the last 4.
At a lovely price of 32 million.
Yeah, low price. Okay, so I think Zurich's probably first in this division. Who's second? Does it matter?
It's a roulette. Who do you think it's gonna be?
It depends if you get something for Hashimoto or not.
Is it gonna be Kiev? Is it gonna be the men, or is it gonna be the Bears? Who knows? No one knows.
I cannot believe some of the guys in this rotation in Isle of Man.
All right, let's do the Isle of Man then. Let's go. I don't know if you've updated to the new file or not.
Oh, I haven't. It simmed. Oh, I'm on a lose 4. I don't really want to download the new one.
We'll keep it as it is, so you look all right. Look, you can stay happy.
Nah, it's a whatever, man. It's fine. I think we'll get to it when we get to it, but I'm accepting of my fate to some extent. I'm a little irritated, but it's like, yeah. Anyways, Isle of Man.
Where do you want to start with Isle of Man? Because
I think it doesn't matter which.
I guess it doesn't matter which European team is because there's no real positivity in the other 3 teams.
Well, it's interesting. I think it's interesting that I got outbid on a free agent by them.
Sometimes money talks, Smile.
I think I actually offered the guy more. It was just I found this off season. I was having a lot of trouble attracting people, and I think a lot of it was the roles. So like Robert Lopez has been off and on. He had 1 really good year with the Zabbies and 1 really good year with the Woodcocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to add him the middle in like as a middle reliever or setup guy, and he chased the closer role with Isle of Man. That's makes sense, but it happened like 2 or 3 times to me this offseason. But I think that's a reasonable reliever.
Oh yeah,
he's not paying him a ton. Like the AAV there's like 7.5 actually. So, I think the starting rotation is kind of awful. So I don't know how much faith I have that they keep it up. But like, yeah, the starting rotation looks real bad.
I mean, the Isle of Man are winning the 3-horse race for second.
I do think their lineup isn't completely anemic. Like Shisho Hori's all right. That's an all right player. He's got him playing first base, but I think he's a pretty reasonable outfielder. Edwin Vasquez has historically been a very, very strong offensive performer.
Yep.
Esteban Tenori was a really, I think, astute signing. Like the term, like it's $10 million, but the term is really good, and he has been really good for the Isle of Man so far. So like there are some reasonable things here. I think Jesus Lopez is a pretty decent catcher. Yep. Like I don't think that's anything to sneeze at. That's a 2-WAR catcher. That's better than most. I think Dan Nava in center field sucks.
I
think Forte at shortstop sucks.
Oh, it looks like the shortstop looks like the situation we do not talk about.
Well, it's a glove guy, right? But like Dan Nava in center field isn't even defending well. Like you're looking at a guy who's pacing for -6 WAR so far.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
But like I will say, like this is a team that they don't have any money, like at all. So
it's a poverty team.
They're doing the best they can with the money that they have, and they're probably better than You'd think, based on the historic record. All right, moving along. New Forest. Do they still have Hashimoto?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, yes. So New Forest. Catcher's okay. He's having a good year, actually. He's 146. He's got a WAR already, pacing for 4. I say he doesn't do it.
This is the guy that you complained about last year who hits a home run.
Oh yeah, he's an absolute scrub. But like last year, he was playing really bad, and he hit like some home runs or whatever. And this year, he's doubled his home run total in half the number of games. And he is last year, his entire season he was sub replacement, and this year he's at a 1 WAR through 24 games.
Roll the dice. Hope for the best.
That was then. This is now. I say he probably doesn't keep it up, but like whatever. Ride the lightning, baby. Interesting roster comp here.
Oh no.
Am I reading your stuff wrong? Why is Hashimoto batting 5th?
I have him against right-handers. I have him against 5th. Against left-handers, I have him 4th.
Interesting. I just feel, I think I'd probably just be trying to bat him higher to get more plate appearances.
It's fine.
Or you do you.
It's all about the tank. It's all about the tanking, isn't it?
I guess so. I actually really like this Juan Pole guy you've got going in center field.
Yeah, big fan. Shame about.
I think it's interesting that he's playing already.
Nah, it's fine. He's only 5 away from his top contact, so it's good.
Oh, really? I have a different read then.
Yeah.
I've got him with 60 upside in contact.
Oh, I have 55.
Well, I take it back. Maybe you've got better scouting, but like he's looking like he's having himself a year. That's a good player. That's a nice little piece to come into from a 4th rounder.
Yep.
Nice find. Gay Afascari is there. He's a guy.
He's a guy. He does things. He's not doing things at the moment.
Was he there to be a captain? Is that why you got him?
Yep.
Very nice. All right. I don't know. What do you want me to say about this? Orlando Rodriguez not having a great start to the year.
Slowly falling apart.
Has he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any decline yet, but like
he's declining.
Bold of you to point that out when I said I didn't see any decline.
I don't think anyone's going to offer for him, so I'm not too concerned.
I mean, like people's arms fall off all the time.
Exactly. Look at me. My arms are falling all the time, and my knees.
I don't know. I could see the Bears passing the Isle of Man by the end of the year, especially if Hashimoto's still there.
Long live my Hashimoto lord.
Yep. Let's take a look at the Keeves.
Does it look better or does it look worse? Oh no.
Truck stop season. He's got lots of walks. He's got 29 hits and 24 walks. That's a pretty good OBP. I think you'd kind of hope he'd steal a few more bags, as that's kind of his thing, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Elliott Trainer's an alright. Like, he did a lot of dumpster diving this offseason. He just threw contracts at all sorts of guys. Andy De La Rosa's here. That's a former Napolio winner. Put some respect on that name. But, like, this looks like a team with speed to burn.
Need for speed.
Indeed. Jared Dungheap is back again. Jaden, rather. He's having a strong start to the year once again. Ted Van E is having a great season so far. But this looks like this team, surprisingly enough, looks very capable with the stick. Jonathan Rios was a nice get. Like, he's a very good center fielder, actually.
Yeah.
If you look at his career, he has been a positive in center field most of the time. And
he's always been positive in center field.
Yeah. He's always been a net positive in center field defensively. And then even his bat is really solid for that. He's a career, I was looking at highs. He's a career 98 weighted runs created guy, or 96 rather. But like, this is just a solid guy who gets double digits in home runs, can steal a bag here and there. Good defense. He's a leader. Like, that's for $7 million. That's he's almost there for value. So like, that's a pretty good player. I don't know if they've collected a little collection of guys that seem pretty all right.
There is a certain guy that's currently playing long relief at 28 million a season for the next 9 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be positive there.
Sorry. Positive thoughts.
That other player, I'm not going to talk about how they're minus 1.7 RWAR right now, or rather pacing for that.
Yeah, we do not talk about things. Positive.
I will say it's pretty impressive that some of these GAR refugees in his bullpen are pitching really good. Atsuya Shimada, the Cookie Monster, he cost me the series versus Montreal, and he was very good all year. And then just in that one series, he had like an extreme blow up where he gave up like 5 runs in an inning or something. And this is another guy who just spontaneously lost all velocity. He threw 100. Now he throws 93. So he doesn't have any control and he doesn't have any stuff.
He lost.
But I mean, through 11 innings,
7 miles an hour since August last year.
Yeah, but through 11 innings, he's been really good.
Who needs speed when you have movement?
Exactly. Same thing. Ji-Hoo Kim. That was a guy that, for me, lost a bunch of velo just spontaneously, and I was like, maybe this guy can still pitch a bit. And I was like, I'm going to waive him in the playoffs. I need the roster spot. And he jumped all over it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep that $4 million. But, yeah, it's another guy that's pitching really solid, actually. 2.81 ERA through 16 innings. That's all right. Nothing to sneeze at there. An 85 FIP minus. 15% better than average. I think this team's starting pitching is probably where they're going to really struggle. Like if Jason Voigt doesn't kind of turn it around, that's a problem. Angus Goodwin seems like he can still contribute. Like I don't know, they're not the worst rotation.
It's okay. It's not great, but you know.
Yeah, it's uninspiring. But you know, if they hit, all these guys hit on these short-term, like reasonable money contracts, then he's building. It's a deliberate. I could see them being second at the end of the year, honestly. Yeah. They're not tanking hard. They're not tanking as hard as some other teams. I think if I was to put this division in order, Zurich, Kyiv, New Forest, Isle of Man. But like, it doesn't really matter after Zurich.
No one's going to make playoffs in this division, so...
Just Zurich. The CL Central. Springfield surging.
Springfield are back, baby.
Oh, so they snaked the Isle of Man's best pitcher. They say money doesn't buy happiness.
Well,
they also got Pedro Alvarado from Peking. That's a 2-time Cody Holland winning guy. He looks a little washy though. He's not looking amazing anymore. But he's got an unknown injury, some back tightness. They also lost their big free agent, their $32 million man.
He's losing his speed on that Alvarado.
Yeah. But they also lost Thomas Christensen, 25-year-old, big defense guy. Bat could develop as well. He's out for the majority of the year. He'll be back in September, maybe.
He might make it back for the playoffs.
Fei Zhu is having a nice Napoleo-looking season. It's a free agent signing. Just a guy he found, I guess. But he's having a real strong season right now. 147 OPS plus.
It's a guy called Bird. That's his all.
Yeah, Bird.
He's hit. He's hit 4 grand slams this year.
What are you talking about?
Fei Zhu's hit 4 grand slams this year.
Where do you see that? Just looking at the game log or what?
Game achievements, because this is his first year.
Okay. That's very funny.
He hit a grand slam on the 28th of April against the Hillbillies. Then the 1st of May, he hit another grand slam against the Hillbillies. And then hit a grand slam against Kirkland Signatures on May 6th. And then hit another one 2 days later in the same series.
That's a lot of value, man. He's got 11 home runs so far this year.
I wish I had a guy that just like hit grand slams for fun.
16 RBIs out of those, right? Like that's 4 grand slams. It's 16 RBIs. That's wild. But he's having a good year. Good for him. I think this is probably the best team in this division. Pitching looks strong. Still, like as strong as it's likely to get in this division. They still have an elite closer. Some good bats. Like a pretty good hitting catcher, too. Shaw, Yang King Shaw. Looking good. Looks like he could be a really strong catcher in the overall rankings. What do you think? What do you think? Springfield or the Monkeys? Who's the creme de la creme?
I reckon Springfield. Springfield have that dog in them, you know?
Indeed. Been bitten by the BS bug. I will say Willie Medina having a pacing for 9 WAR so far is
wild.
A little bit of witchcraft.
I mean, it is the Monkeys. Like,
yeah.
Less said, the better.
Jun Ho Shin is looking good as well. He's having a really strong start to the year. There's some good-looking players here. He's got a good shortstop, too. Snuffy, although he's fragile. Like, there's a lot of the pieces. I think I agree that Springfield's probably just a little bit better, but it's closer than you'd think.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Like, you can argue in some respects that Monkeys are maybe better than Springfield, but personally, I think the Monkeys have a year or two, and then they could probably...
I mean, like, they're a game back right now. I just think the gap here is closer than we think.
Yeah.
And it's like, it takes a little bit of a coldness or another injury. Like, we'll see. I think it's clearly Springfield's better right now, but it's a much tighter gap than you'd think. Especially because the Monkeys are doing it a different way, right? Like, they're
both different.
Yeah. I guess Springfield's good defensively, too. You just look at some of the Monkeys players, and you're like, yeah, your shortstop, good hitter, good defensively. Your center fielder, good defensively. So you kind of got those in the places where you need it. Their catcher, they've got a reasonable catcher as well. Fang Linag Shi.
Yeah.
Some solid players all around. But you're right. I think Springfield is better, but it's not a night and day thing. In a surprising third place, Rain City is only 2 games back of first. It looks like right now, I think they're all in place for the playoff spots in the CL in this division right now.
I don't think that was the attempt either. That's the best part of it all.
Yeah. Rain City, I think their rotation's probably underrated for what it brings, if I'm being honest. Even though it's underperforming right now, I think of each of these pitchers is probably better than what they've brought so far this year. I don't know how they're doing it right now. I'm kind of looking, and they don't score a lot of runs, so it's got to be run prevention.
Rain City, 4th best defensive efficiency in the league.
There it is.
Tied in 22nd for the most amount of runs scored in the league.
William Jensen's a pretty good outfielder.
Oh.
It's their left fielder. I think their right fielder, they're getting a little lucky with some of his production right now, but like, lock skill, who cares? He looks like he can steal some bases.
Better to be lucky than skillful.
Yeah, probably. They've got some guys coming up. Like they're going to be good. Like this Camarada guy, Grits, he's going to be good. He's playing him really early. That's weird.
That's my Jeff.
Oh, that's a weird choice. I guess glove don't slump, right? Like he's going to put up a 1,000,000 zone rating.
Yeah.
But like. I don't know about that. He's got 30 points to go in contact. He's got 20 points to go in home run power and 25 in I.
Are you ready to put Medina into?
I don't know, man. Am I? Gutierrez is back. Like in Rain City.
Oh.
The Gutierrez is back. So, I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, it's Springfield, Minneapolis, Rain City in that order.
Yeah.
I don't hate Hannibal's either. They messed me up early this year. They won like 4 games in a row by 1 run or something.
Yeah, but that's because you're always mean to Hannibal, and now they just get you back in spite.
No, I'm being positive.
I know.
Hannibal. I'm saying.
Usually you're harsh to Hannibal. You know, and
usually I don't see where the offense is coming from. I see where it's coming from here. It's coming from Norm Colcott.
Like
it's coming from David DeArmond. Like I see where the offense is coming from. They have a pretty good hitting catcher.
Hannibal have got like quotes from you written on all their walls to just like.
Oh yeah.
Whenever they go to Castlegale or you come to visit them, like all the quotes you've said about them are on the walls, and they just have to be motivated by it, you know.
And they had a guy named Thibaud Lecoq. So I mean, things are going good for them. I think this division's tighter than it. Like this is an underrated, tough division.
This is probably maybe the new best division.
I think this actually might be, and that's weird. I don't think it's got the high end of some of the others. Like I know Springfield will take that as a grievous insult, but I just mean like this is not his best team in the last 5 years. I don't think this is his second or third best team in the last 5 years.
It's like the fifth best team in the league.
I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that. Yeah, probably. I just, anyways, I just think this division's a bloodbath because they're all within a certain margin of error from each other. So if somebody gets beat up real hard by injuries, it's going to have a bigger effect, I think, a bigger impact on the standings here.
Yeah.
All right. The VL Atlantic.
Oh, boy.
Sunnyvale running away with it already.
Fuck me, Sunnyvale. Right. I had a series against them early in the year and lost 3 games in a row by a run, and 2 of them were in extra innings.
Well, he signed Zachary Dees to a really reasonable, and the guy can rake. So whenever you can add a 7-time MVP to your lineup, that's probably the move to make. Lee Song Lee doing his thing. Roy Scott showing that he's worth $1 billion quadrillion. He had a good, strong first year last year, and he is following it up with a similar one this year. Could hit 50 home runs for the first time.
$45 million a year for this year.
Yep, indeed. I think this is probably at least a playoff team.
Oh yeah.
They had a good this shortstop Coma. It seems to be coming around a bit. Like he had a good year last year too, but like he's hitting well this year so far. Gator is completely washed. He cannot play defense anymore. Why are you making this old man catch? His knees don't work, Nick. Stop. Stop.
His knees will work if you make them work.
Like, he's got to have cortisone shots to get his cortisone shots. Like you got a 48-year-old catcher with a physique in me trying to squat behind the plate. Like, oh my god. A really good rotation with some of these pieces. Ricardo Flores, Steve James, Wilbert Hoover. Like, there's some definite upside here. You added Jose Vega for nothing from the Zabbies. It's a shrewd bit of business.
I can't believe Gator is the number 1 catcher out of the 2.
Well, hold on, because like Callahan's pretty good. Like, I think realistically, Callahan might be the number 1 catcher.
He's only had 1 at bat this year.
Oh, Gators defense just dropped another 10 points. Like, maybe he hasn't noticed.
Maybe. I mean, his catcher rating's gone down.
I will say he is still hitting. Like, he's got a 94 weighted runs created plus at age 400.
His catcher rate has gone down by 35 since 2051.
He just forgot.
Yeah, it's just plug and play, you know?
Yeah. Anyways, I think this is the best team in the division. Halifax. Wong Lee's a pretty good player, hey?
Yes. Wong Lee.
The kids are all right. John Lucan, he's good too, it looks like. Danny Montoya, showing why he was a 4th overall pick. These guys are all hitting really nicely, and you mash that up with a Jim Corbett, who is still in Wuhan colors for me, Chicago colors. I think there's still some heavy lifting to be done here. Like Zhang Yao Mar was a really good free agency signing. I think that he could turn into a really good third baseman. I think the future is not here yet, so I think eventually we're going to see Sunnyvale pull away, and Halifax is going to be in contention. I think they're going to be in contention for a playoff spot. Whether that means they get there, I'm not sure, but like their left-handed starters are carrying hard. They've got a good bullpen again, and there's some massive upside in the lineup. The 3 kids are all raking. They're all smashing the casing off the ball. If they keep it up, they're probably a playoff team in the wild card.
I think they are a playoff team, to be honest.
I guess it helps that Beijing's trying to actively sell and that the Euro division is eating crayons.
Eating crayons, it means you actually have to breathe to eat crayons. That's the European division is struggling to breathe on their own, let alone fucking eat crayons.
Yep. Taking a look at somebody else here, like taking a look at Newfoundland. I think they're making some strong moves.
Oh, yes.
Well, they added some guys.
Oh, they got Watanabe. Oh.
Yeah, they got some guys. Chris Hiscock's still good. They added Bodil Lonson, who was a 2nd overall pick. They added him into the lineup this year. He doesn't look like the best 2nd overall pick ever, but that doesn't mean that he can't be an everyday player. I think I don't know. The bat probably plays up at 2nd base. I think it maybe plays down at 3rd base, but like if that's where you have a spot for him, because like Vicente Rivera won Rookie of the Year last year. So I mean, like he has a solid 2nd baseman. So maybe you're doing that to get better defense around. I'm not sure, but like Lowe won a Gold Glove in 51. Didn't win it last year at shortstop, but like he's got some good defense.
Yeah. Newfoundland are decent.
Well, hold on. Wouldn't say they're good, but like they're
I didn't
fine.
say they're good. I said they're decent.
Okay, decent. Okay. I'm laughing too because they signed Lone Wolf's closer.
Oh.
This is another guy I tried to snag, and he's like, nope, I'd rather make $2 million less to be a closer. And then Newfoundland's like, actually, you're playing setup. Damn it! He's already written him some harshly worded letters, so I'm sure that'll be a situation to keep an eye on. But anyways, Newfoundland, I think they've made some decisions. They are drafting, they're developing, they're trying to stay competitive and stay reasonably popular in the interim, and we'll see where they go with it. Cape Breton, Mark Parrish, maybe a 500 on base percentage hitter, somehow never gets hit in. That's a problem. You have a guy who gets on base all the time, and then nobody can do anything about it. Bill Newsom looks all right, though. And Tim Pinnell should hit better than he does. So, like, I shouldn't make too much fun of them because, like, we're being positive. I would say that Danny Carrillo is probably a better 2nd baseman or 3rd baseman than he is a shortstop. If I might be so humble as to offer a suggestion. Mike Plummer, still only 2 more years after this, so 3 years total at $16 million a year, but he's hitting okay.
He's having one bad season, one good season, one bad season, one good season.
Looks like Sondra Hansen has been injured already so far this year, and they've had a couple guys go down with injuries in their bullpen. Man, if they could get just like a glove first shortstop and then shift Danny Carrillo to 2nd base, or that would be really good. I think that'd be really good. I think I'd probably maybe even bump that guy up the lineup a little bit. Maybe he's trying to do something with the left-right, but like Ovi Kronberg, I think probably needs to get dropped down.
Why not have Danny Roman at shortstop and then have Danny Carrillo at 2nd base?
That makes sense. That could make some sense.
I know I don't usually talk sense, but
that could make some sense though, Bear. I think you might be onto something. Maybe flip those two. The problem is it's no longer training camp. So like it's gonna Danny Roman's adaptability is gonna make him play worse, and you're gonna have a problem to start. And Alex Rodriguez could be a really elite catcher though. So like there's definitely some pieces here that look like they're really good. The Woodcocks could this isn't a team that I'd want to have in my division for years on years on years. They've got some really good kids. They tend to rush them like some other teams, but like here we are.
I wouldn't know any teams like that.
Yeah, indeed. Why would anyone know teams like that?
Yeah. I think it's the right way to play the game, but that's just me.
I gotta hustle forward here. As I've got a story time I have to attend soon.
Oh.
So Redondo, Epi Roll is absolutely amazing. He's having a really strong year despite his attributes not being elite. I can't hate on Gregorio Hernandez. He is consistently awesome. It trips me out that he is that good for a guy that looks like he should be exceedingly mid, but he has been good for several years in a row. It's for real. If it's several years in a row, you just got to shrug and say, yeah, it's for real. Damn, Jerry Cruz looks good. It's not hitting good so far, but like this team's got some pieces coming up. They have a really good center fielder who batting 7th, which is a choice. But yeah, rumor mill, Mudawar bin Jabir, really strong player. So they've got some pieces here. I think that their pitching is not the best.
It's a work in progress.
It's pitching better than mine by like a lot, but what can you do? I think this team, depending on what, like, I don't know, man. I don't know who's last in this division anymore. It's like a good old-fashioned mid-off. If I knew what was truly going on, I'd still be at the top of the division. Castlegar.
Here we go.
They got old, man. They got old.
Fuck me.
They had two starters kind of age out a bit there. They had a bullpen arm just turn to ash. Steve Beasley's hurt again. Brian Quinn has had a really tough start to the year. Like, you're looking at a guy that's been replacement level so far this season, just a replacement level guy. You look at Janenko, just had his first 4 games of the season. He's been hurt this whole time. Chukai Dai, he looks like he's done. He looks like he's done as a hitting catcher. Like, he wasn't good with the stick last year. He wasn't good early this year. He's actually had a bit of a hot streak lately to get up to a 50 weighted runs created plus, but he does not look great. Another guy who's really struggled, Yalmar Gade, 60 weighted runs created plus. So, like, the thing with the Gar is that they have really struggled offensively. That's a bit of a weird thing for them. I think there's a reason that they could come back a fair bit with some of that, but it's one of those things where the pitching isn't working, the hitting isn't working, the defense isn't good. You can probably get by with one of those things not working, or one being bad, one being good, one being mid. You could probably make the playoffs. You might win the division like that. One good, one bad, one mid. You could probably win this division. It's maybe the weakest division right now. All 3 being shit, that's a problem. That is a problem. If everybody's shitty, you're not going to win baseball games. You heard it from me first.
You got to have at least one cog working.
You got to have something working. I think that their pitching is getting a little unlucky. I think they're probably better than this. Dong Mu Win has historically been a easy lock for 3 WAR. I'm not seeing regression from him, but like, yeah, he's not had a good start to the year. It will be important. Like, I'm laughing a little bit because their closers only had 2 save opportunities. Oh, that is not. I think you're really looking at the offense has really struggled here this year. Like, look at the offensive. They're 10th. They're 10th in the league for offense. They have 3 regular players at 100 OPS plus or higher.
21st in runs, 17th in average, and tied 11th in home runs.
Yeah, that's unusual. Like, there's a lot of guys that are generally speaking, have a history of consistent play. I think that this team is going to have a surge at some point that is reflective of that. It's just, it is also an old team, and sometimes an unlucky first half isn't actually unlucky. It's that your team got old and sucks now.
Yeah.
So, Being positive.
Positive mental attitude, PMA.
I think at the end of the year, I think there's a very reasonable chance the Castlegar's first in this division. Honestly, I think when you look, this team has been first in offense in the CL for it's been them or Springfield for maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
I think Montreal might have been first last year, actually. But you're talking about these two teams have largely traded off top offensive team for 10, 15 years. Montreal's just broken through now as probably the best hitting team last year and this year. I still think this is probably a top 3 offense in this league. We'll see. If the guys could bounce back, but if they fall apart, they get injured. Tanaka gets hurt for the year. Gade gets hurt for the year. Quinn gets hurt for the year. Any of those guys go down, it's well, who's up next? It's not very encouraging. They have not been getting a lot of good players coming up as young players.
Yeah.
So there's not a next wave beyond what's there right now. So they're old. They're tapped out for money. They have no prospects and no picks. We could be seeing a Peking rebuild if things do not break at some point for the GAR. Moving along, LA Blazers.
Good. Look great.
I think they're kind of bad.
I think it's similar to the GAR.
I think the GAR is way better than they are.
The GAR are way better, but similar problems,
Yes, except the thing is that the GAR has a history of being good at scoring runs, and LA doesn't. So I look at this and I go, yeah, LA's pretty good at preventing runs. Who scores them? Well, it's Ro Min this year, right now, is scoring a lot of runs. Doesn't seem like very many other guys are hitting. Ricardo Lopez having a nice start, though, to his career.
Half the team below if replaced, well...
Yeah, there's 3 guys at 100 or higher OPS plus.
Yeah.
Jason Towit's at 99, so we could maybe squeeze that in and be like, oh, they got a 4th. But 100 is kind of the break. Is that's the average. 100 is the guy. I know it varies by position. 100 OPS plus isn't very good for a first baseman, right?
Yeah.
But it would be amazing for a catcher, shortstop, pretty reasonable for a center fielder. I think, I don't know. LA is, again, this division's a mid-off this year. I'm pretty impressed with Kirkland, by which I mean I'm kind of irritated that they're as good as they are.
This is a team that's got all the cogs working.
It doesn't even make sense to me. This pitching staff looks so bad to me, man. The starting pitching.
You have to remember who's the GM.
Let me say this again. The starting pitching looks really bad to me. Dan Leach is solid, but most of these guys would be number 5s.
Oh yeah. It's how you use them, not what you have.
I guess. The Testament, I'd say that Abnormal is having a ridiculous season, pacing for 55 dingers. That probably helps a little bit. Having a cap dump, a salary dump player, or just absolutely go ham. That's helpful. I don't even see where it's coming from. He's just got that dog.
He's hit 11 home runs, 23 RBI, 16 walks.
Yeah. Matt Henderson having a strong start to his career as well. That's a thing. He's a good player. He's a good young player. That was a 5th rounder that developed, so that doesn't at all make me sad about my situation. But I don't know. I don't think this team should be on paper. I don't think this is the best team in the division. But if I were to basically rank this on where I think the rosters are, I think Kirkland would probably be last still. Castlegar would still be first, and Redondo and LA would be wrestling. I think LA's got a much better pitching staff, and Redondo has a much better lineup. But what's actually going to happen is the GAR's going to lose 1,000-man games to injury, and somebody's going to have a +7 Pythag and finish first, probably Kirkland or LA.
This is the RFBL report with Bear and Badowski.
We're looking at it's 4 games.
Then the Donzos, and then
you can go to statsplus.net/RFBL.
Very, very
To find
simple.
more episodes of the RFBL report, you can go to Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud,
Like, I mean, he's using an opener and a guy every night. Strategy, baby. But yeah, I think that's it for our season preview. I've got to go read a bedtime story. Oh. So I thank everybody for joining me. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
As per usual, and I will. We will be back, I'm sure.
Start recording. Oh.